Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna talk about my stay era. Oh, the sun's just peeking on through there. Hi. Yeah, so today we're gonna talk about me being a stay. I am no longer a stay. But Stray Kids was my first ever K-pop group that I ever ulted. They were the first group that I really got into, and I'm really excited to talk about them today. So it started when I found, this was in 2018. I think it was very late 2018. It was, because this was when Deltarune came out. So for those of you who don't know, I'm super into Deltarune and Undertale, like that fandom. And the first chapter it just released in, I want to say, October of 2018. I was watching animation memes because I was also in that community, for those of you who know. I was super into the animation meme community, and I saw this animatic animation meme to Stray Kids' song Who, like the intro off of their I Am Who album. And I had seen that and I was like, this song is so good. Like, who's that deep voice guy in the beginning? Like, wait, this is really good. And then I looked it up. It was Stray Kids, and I was like, let me listen to this song. Like, this is really good. At that time I was still like, I was like dabbling in like shinyisms, you know, like I was a fan of shinies. I didn't like stand them, but I was pretty into shiny at that point. And I kind of just dove down the rabbit hole from there. So I listened to the rest of the I Am Who album. Still one of my favorite K-pop albums to date. Like, it's genuinely one of Stray Kids' best works, and I'm not even saying that out of nostalgia. I am saying that out of nostalgia, but it's not just that. It's literally like they produced such a cohesive and heartfelt piece of work. Like, the I Am series in general is just genius. So nobody will ever be able to do it like them. So yeah, I listened to I Am Who. I got into the whole I Am series through that. And then I started delving into the members. So of course, I biased Felix first because he had caught my eye first, and I also just thought that his personality was just so sweet and sunshiny and lovely. And then I started biasing Han as well because I was like, well, one, I was like, they're birthday twins, that's iconic. And two, I really loved Han's artistry. I was getting into Three Racha's discography as well back then, and like their pre-debut discography. And I just loved Han's rapping style, his writing style, the way he incorporated more like emotional kind of like music in his work. And we get to see that more in 2019 with 19, and then in 2020 with Another Day. And I just, as you'll see as like this video goes on, but I just fall more and more in love with Han's artistry, like the more music that he releases. So that's that. I decided my biases. I'd listen to like the first 3 albums of Stray Kids. Like, I was locked in. 2019 comes and Muro releases. So Muro releases, they get their first win, and at that point I just kind of like knew that this was like a group that was going to be a significant part of my life, you know. Because I was just like, I'm not like, this is like how I feel like when I like started getting into Sonic, like my first ever like special interest. And I was like, this is just, yeah, like this is just like overwhelmingly like amazing. Like, I love Stray Kids so much and their music so much. And I would watch like YouTube videos of them all day, like, you know, those like K-pop crack videos or whatever. I watched this one channel, Grok. For those of you who know, bro, she was an OG stay. Like, she only uploaded, I think, in like 2019 to maybe 2020. But bro, she was for the OG stays. And yeah, I would watch her I would watch her changlix series because I was a changlix enjoyer. I'm sorry. It's just the truth of the matter. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I would watch her changlix series, and it would like literally, like, I would watch it during like my lunches and everything. I would listen to, of course, who I listened to Insomnia a lot. 19. Let's see, what were like some of my other favorite songs from then? Because I was also a runner too, so I would listen to a lot of Racha whenever I was at like cross country and track practice. That was a pretty big part of my life. And when we would have cross country meets, eventually when Double Knot released, that was like my go-to like hype song was Double Knot. Um, which is so, oh my god, like looking back, I'm just like, wow, like, oh, what a long time ago, because I never thought that Stray Kids would be making the music that they make now. I mean, it kind of it kind of made sense, especially like from 2020 onwards. Like you can kind of see like that kind of trajectory. But from 2019, I was like they were still experimenting. It was still like Racha was like kind of like a little secret in the fandom. Like if you know Racha songs, like you're a real one. And yeah, so I was super into Stray Kids' album. Side Effects still is one of my favorite comebacks of theirs. I just loved like the musicality and like the artistry of Side Effects and like Stray Kids' music thus far. Woojin left a little after Double Knot released, and I was devastated. Like I saw the news on Twitter. My mom showed me, and I ran to my closet and cried for like an hour. Like I was so upset, bro. Like I was like, there's no way. Like there's no way. Like there's no way. But then I was fine because they released a new album, and we just had to, the fandom and the boys had to just cope in whatever way we could. So Levanter releases. It's great. I love Sunshine and Booster off of that album. Super good songs, super good songs. We get to God's Menu, and that's when, well, that's when Stray Kids blew up. So Miro was when they got their first win, but they didn't really start getting their flowers until God's Menu, because that's when they went like actually like viral within not even just the K-pop community, but like just, yeah, like in general, like they just blew up as like a group. They started getting more like Western interviews and things like that too. I think Felix was a host on Arirang too during this time, or actually it might have been 2019. Don't quote me on that. I don't have my dates right. So Stray Kids blew up during 2020, and it was great. I was living for all the new content, was living for all the new recognition. I loved Another Life, and Ta, actually, off that album. Both those songs were really good, but the album in and of itself was like a really, like, it was a good cohesive first album. I enjoyed it a lot. Their repackage in live, also loved it. I went to Stray Kids' tour in 2020, so this was in February, like right before the pandemic, and I had heard the 3 unit songs that they put on in live. I heard them live for the first time, and that was a moment, bro, that I will never forget. Like I was living, and even though it was a very difficult time for me personally, Stray Kids' music really just like helped me get through all that. Like it was lovely. Like I felt like I belonged somewhere when the idea was reinforced to me that I around certain people did not belong. And having that sort of feeling, even if it was parasocial, even if it was through an artist that I don't know, it was very comforting to me as a teenager. So I went to go see Stray Kids. I loved their album, their repackage. Life was great. And then after that, they released Thunderous. And that's when I was kind of like, maybe. Because at that point, too, I also started. So I got into TXT a little after I gotten into Stray Kids. So at the end of 2019. Ooh, maybe I'll make a video about how I got into TXT. Let me know if you want to see that. But yeah, so I had gotten into TXT around like a little after Stray Kids, and they were very quickly starting to become my favorite group. I love whimsy, magic, escapism. Like they had it all, bro. And their music was slowly, like, the more that they released music, the more I was like, oh, this is really like my vibe, you know? So TXT, because Stray Kids were my ult at the time, I ended up ulting both TXT and Stray Kids for like most of 2020. And then TXT just like kind of overtook them with Blue Hour and I Know I Love You. And then Stray Kids released Thunders, and I was like, okay, never mind. I think TXT are my ults now. Um, and Felix was still like an old bias of mine. And honestly, even though I don't stand anymore, Felix is always going to be like a special place in my heart, bro. Like I'm always going to fangirl over him. I'm sorry. Like he's someone that's so unique in the industry that like you can't find another idol like him, you know? Still have a lot of appreciation for Han. I would still watch like Stray Kids interviews. Like I just love seeing like how far they've come, you know? But I just kind of lost interest from like 2021 onwards. I had a little bit of a resurgence in 2022 because they released Maniac. That song also went viral and that was a banger. I loved Maniac. I loved that whole EP. Case 143, again, another banger. Love that EP. But then again, 2023 onwards, I was like, yeah, this isn't really my style. And that's okay, you know? Like I think we should have more conversations on KTube about growing out of groups and growing into groups and just kind of like sharing your fandom experiences regardless of if you're a part of that fandom anymore or not, you know? Because I feel like people get a little too territorial with fandoms and, you know, oh, if you're not part of this fandom or if you're part of this other fandom, then you can't speak on your fandom experiences with this group, you know? And I disagree with that, you know? I think regardless of how long or what groups you stand or like how long you stand, you should be allowed to speak about your experiences. Um, and yeah, like I said, I have no hard feelings towards Stray Kids. I just like other groups more now, and I appreciate Stray Kids for what they were to me at that point in my life. You know, they'll always be the first K-pop group I ever stand, the first group I ever ulted, and I'm just grateful to be able to see their artistry and stuff nowadays. You know. Um, so yeah, let me know what you want to see next, and I will talk to you guys another day. Bye.